This. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you. We're sorry we're starting a little bit late. I wanted to first say happy holidays to everyone. Yeah. So, as I like to joke, happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, Saturnalia, or Voodoo Day, whatever you celebrate this time of year. We hope you enjoy it and lean in. Welcome to our December 17th, 2024 full board meeting of Manhattan Community Board 11. My name is Xavier Santiago. I'm the chair of CB11. This meeting is officially called to order at 6:44 p.m. Tonight, we're joined by District Manager Angel Muscane, Assistant District Manager Khalid Nixon, and Community Liaison Marlene Pierre, who was greeting us when we came in. Before we jump into the meeting, I want to lay out a few ground rules in order to conduct an efficient meeting. One, no one may speak until granted the floor. Two, CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom or here in the room. Again, if you're on Zoom, you click the participants icon in the and you will see the panel appear in the raise hand function there. Members should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. Three, the chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about the agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. I also remind members here and physically that you keep the sidebar chats to a minimum while we are having discussion. Again, any questions or comments should be stated out loud and on the record. Four, when a member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you. You may unmute yourself or will be yielded the floor so you can speak. Five, please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public can register to speak in the public session by completing the pre-registration form by providing their name, affiliation, and what topic they wish to speak about. A link to the registration form has been shared in the chat. Registration for the public session needs to be completed by 7:15 p.m. And with that, we will now take attendance by roll call. Here we go.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Listen for your names, please. Jose Altamirano.
Outside
Yes.
with the food.
Stephanie Arroyo. Mark Bogursky. Marcel Bondima. Adem Brija.
He's outside in the car as well.
Kenneth Crouch. Carlos Diaz. Rosa Diaz is myself. Jessica Elliott. Judith Febrado. Arnice Foster Hernandez. Thank you. David Giordano. Thank you. John Green.
Here.
Pascal Hanou. Thank you. Wanda Hopkins. Christina Johnson.
Present.
Stanley Jones is excused. Jewel Jones. Sage Mason. Malik McCullough.
Here.
Jennifer.
You hear
Jennifer
me?
Mayer.
Did y'all hear me?
Jessica Morris. Neil Saurama. Beverly Pavone. Samantha Pedreiro. Claudia Perez. Valerie Ponti. Thank you. Asha Rodriguez. Eugene Rodriguez. Dawn Sanders.
Here.
Xavier
Here.
Santiago is here. Isaac Scott. Russell Schuler. Thank you. Loretta So. Thank you. Derek Stampone. Thank you. Alaira Chicamboo. Okay. Vincent Torres. Anne-Marie Vasquez. Jason Villanueva. Hilda Vives Vasquez. Nye Whitaker.
Here.
Thank you. Justina Williams. Michelle Wilcher Clement. Shanique Fogg, Shonick. Okay. Jason Wood is absent.
Wanda Hopkins is here.
Can you check that? Oh. Wanda Hopkins and Christina Johnson. Okay. Wait, Marcel Bandima. Okay, wonderful. We'll adjust that. We have a quorum. Now, before we jump into the agenda, I want to say thank you to our hosts here at El Museo del Barrio. We have Cynthia Carrion, who I'd like to welcome up to just say a few words, please. This is a historic institution, and we appreciate them hosting us.
Hello. I'll use all the mics. I'll just... Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I don't think that one's on. Oh, this one's not even on. Check, mic check. All right, all right. Hello. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Buenas noches. Welcome to El Museo del Barrio. We are honored to host CB11's December meeting. Just in case you're wondering, behind the front here is our three kings. These are our puppets. I invite everybody to join us on January 6th for our 47th annual Three Kings Day Parade. I'll have information if your organization, school would like to march with us. We welcome everybody. It's a fun day. Little cold, but we bring the heat. And we also start with a breakfast. So we'll have our elected officials, our honorees, everybody dresses up in costume. And we just really welcome you. And our galleries are closed this evening, but if you're ever interested in coming back on the days our galleries are open, I'm happy to host you and connect. So again, welcome. And I'm here if you have any questions. And thank you all for being here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. With that, we'll move the agenda along. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and was posted online. If there are no objections, we will adopt the agenda as stated, except with one change, is that the borough president's office, Porfirio Figueroa, who is our liaison, he has a hard out, so he may have to go during a certain point of the pre-registered speakers when he comes online. So that'll be the one exception. With that one amendment, if there are no objections, we will adopt the agenda. Seeing no hands raised, there are no objections, and therefore tonight's agenda is adopted. Pre-registered speakers, a few ground rules for those wishing to speak. 1, you must sign up to give testimony, providing your name and affiliation. 2, you'll be allowed 3 minutes to speak. Please state your phone and email up front. 2 minutes to speak, and reserve a minute for questions from our board members. A timer will be up as an aid. 3, you should address your testimony to the board, not the public. 4, you should speak clearly and into the microphone. 5, you should be prepared to respond to board members who may ask questions in order to clarify facts and opinions presented in your comments. And 6, if required, the chair will remind you of the time or concluding the remarks. Board members should only ask clarifying questions. Commentary will not be entertained. And our first who signed up is Marina Ortiz from the People's Church.
Yes, hi. How's everyone? Long time no see. I am going to address everyone in the room because it's not necessarily a board issue. I'm here wearing another hat, the Committee to Save the People's Church. I don't know if you all are familiar with the Young Lord's Church on 111th and Lexington. So there's been some things going on. I'm just going to read an open letter that we've sent out. Greetings in the name of justice, truth, and liberation. We ask those who share the vision and mission of the People's Church to support and join our efforts to preserve the legacy of this important community institution. 55 years ago, on December 7th, 1969, the Young Lords went to First Spanish United Methodist Church to ask for space to serve the community. The NYPD was in the back of the church and a fight ensued while the organist played Onward Christian Soldiers. Chairman Felipe Luciano suffered a broken arm and 13 stitches. 4 of the Young Lords were also hospitalized and 13 were arrested. 3 weeks later, on December 28th, they took over the church in order to provide a free breakfast for the children of East Harlem. We see the teachings of Jesus in their work. Now, as we commemorate the 55th anniversary of the events, we face brutal repression at home, even while our tax dollars pay for the same abroad. Many churches, including the current Methodist appointed leadership of SS of the People's Church, preach a liberal rhetoric while practicing the top-down methods of empire. In the past 10 months, we have lost 8 members of our leadership team, 6 of whom are Puerto Rican and 4 of whom are El Barrio residents. Our erasure is near complete. Jesus was a leader and a prophet who loved the homeless, the hungry, and all those at the bottom of the social ladder. Your support will help demonstrate community support for a church that sides with the people, rejects all forms of oppression, and embraces revolutionary love and human dignity. We need everyone to join us who embraces the young Lord's legacy. Please help us honor our vision and help us keep this historic space available for the sacred work of spiritual renewal, holistic healing, and social transformation. The future of the People's Church is at stake. I have in contact information 917-524-9979, and I can also share that with you. I have some handouts, limited number. I also want to invite you to back to the church on December 29th. We staged a, quote, commemoration of the first takeover on the 8th of December. It was attended by over 300 people, a lot of OGs from the Black Panther Party, Young Lords Party, and we're going to do a second round on the 29th, and we invite you to come and join us. It'll be a lot of folks from the neighborhood also came out, and we invite you to join us there. We're also going to have a Three Kings celebration on Sundays, January 5th, and it'll be a potluck. We ask you to bring usually a piece of clothing and a book for a child. Thank you. Again, if you have any questions, call 917-524-9979, and it's thepeopleschurchnyc.org is where you can find more information about the Committee to Save the People's Church.
Thank you. Any questions from our board members? Yes, Beverly, and then Sage. Yeah, just so we can, yeah.
If you could use this mic.
This-
Thank you for reading the letter out loud. What are you actually asking to help? What is the problem that you need their help with? Are they trying to take the church from you guys or something like that?
It's a much longer conversation that I'm allotted time for here. I'm just beginning to let folks know that there are things brewing over there and that people are fighting back and taking action. There will be a much more lengthy communications that will be sent to the board and put online publicly and shared through social media. And again, if you come on the 29th, you'll learn firsthand more about what's going on.
Thank you. Sage.
I had the same question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marina. Next, we will, since we had Cynthia already come up, we will now have, give me a moment. Yep. Paul Burke from the Nightingale Bamford School. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah. The podium is, mic is working. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jess.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Xavier, for the welcome. As Xavier indicated, my name is Paul Burke. I'm the head of the Nightingale Bamford School, which is a girls' school on 92nd between Madison and 5th, just about a 10-minute walk from here. We are particularly pleased to be at the Museo del Barrio, where our students have been for many, many occasions. So thank you for welcoming us here tonight. We're here this evening to share exciting news in our community that our school has purchased a piece of land on 108th Street between 3rd and Lex to put in an athletic facility specifically designed for girls at a time when girls' athletics are critically important for their health and well-being. And in a moment, I'll have a chance to introduce my team. But right now, I'm going to turn it over to Ken Hart, who is with Consigli and working with us on this project.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Hart, no relation to Kevin. I knew somebody was thinking it. I get it all the time, trust me. No, but I am a Harlem native. Not a native of East Harlem, but deeply love this community. Have done a lot of nonprofit work in the area. I'm here on behalf of Consigli Construction. I'm the community liaison. So we will be building the new athletic facility for Nightingale. We are very excited about the project, very excited about some of the things we're going to present at a later date to the board that we want to bring to the community, offer up to our neighbors here in East Harlem. And yeah, so just as far as construction goes, just keep it super high level. We don't have a lot of time, but we're aiming at Q1 of 2025 for shovels to hit the ground. And as I said, we'll have more detail later on. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. My favorite Hart is actually Josh Hart, since we're talking about athletic facility, but I'd like to introduce, if it's okay, three folks from Nightingale who are here. Alan Messina to the right. Alan, thank you. Alan is a Nightingale parent and a Nightingale trustee who lives in this neighborhood and is one of our students come from 100 different zip codes around New York City, including East Harlem, where we have close to 30 students currently enrolled. Damaris McLean, next to him, is our Director of Community Engagement. She has led a number of partnerships with Nightingale and East Harlem organizations and institutions over the years, and really glad to have her with us too. And Azelle Tino, she's our Chief Administrative Officer and is helping oversee many aspects of this project. Her email is the one that would be available, etaino@nightingale.org.
Okay, wonderful. I would definitely recommend, well, I'm going to introduce Asher Rodriguez, who's sitting right behind you, is our Chair of Youth and Education, and then in the back right behind them is, yes, I'm going to get to you. I just, and then David Giordano is the Vice Chair, but he'd served as a chair for many years. So I would definitely recommend presenting to Youth and Education. So Asher is going to ask a question now. Go ahead, Asher.
My question is, you're a private institution, correct? So how much tuition do you fund for people within the community? Are you willing to open up more spots for scholarships for people within the community, especially if you want to build here?
Yes.
That's always the first question I ask.
Yeah,
when
thank you,
schools wanna
Asher. We're
come here.
very excited about that. Yes.
So that's, I want to know the percentage.
Yeah, so
or- or a
20%,
ballpark.
20% of our student population's on financial aid.
Okay, and is that like a full scholarship tuition? Is it partial?
The average grant that's given to anyone on aid is 80%. So it's a significant amount of aid that goes to our students that are on aid.
And what's the full tuition? So I could do the
Full
math.
tuition is just south of $60,000.
Okay.
Thank you. Jessica Moore. Oh, Jessica. Oh, all right. Well, Michelle, David, and then Jessica Morris will have the last question. Thank you.
How large is the plot of land and how tall would the building be?
Yeah.
And is there going to be any greenery that would be able to absorb water? Because we have a large problem with resilience in the area, and I would like to know if that is going to be part of the details.
Yeah, great question. Can you speak to that, Ken? So the greenery question, I can't answer right now, the greenery question, but we will come back. We plan on giving a full presentation. The actual size of the facility is 60,000 square feet. So it'll be three floors, but each floor is double height because it's gymnasium level.
David.
Good evening. Well, welcome to East Harlem.
Thank you. David.
I guess the first question was just a follow-up to what our chair suggested. We would love for you to come do a formal presentation about the school and the impact on East Harlem. So, moving uptown, you know, space is rare in East Harlem. And I wonder what's going to be the opportunity for community usage of a space that's coming into the community. We want to always advocate that we get scholarships specifically for kids in East Harlem. You know, so even, you know, 80% still leaves you with a tuition of $12,000.
Agreed.
And you know what the mean income of a family in East Harlem is? It's about $36,000. So we welcome a formal presentation of your school, and we welcome you to East Harlem.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
And we welcome those terrific questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Jessica.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
we're
you.
all on
Go ahead,
piggyback.
Jessica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
So my question, it builds on we had another institution kind of cross some boundaries at Marymount on 98th Street, asking for space and understanding the landscape of East Harlem and what they were in a position to give back through scholarship, et cetera. At that point, the realization that kind of all in is one way to extend welcome to a community through scholarship seats and otherwise, but having an amenity that can impact health and well-being as what you're getting at, it doesn't have to be all in. There's a lot of opportunity for if we're kind of our community is welcome in the door in ways that can build on that. So if you can keep an open mind about that potential, would
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to work with you on that.
And I'm going to give it to Ken in a second. We're a big part of us being here tonight is to listen and learn. It's what most important to the community.
Yeah,
And,
so
and just to piggyback on that, and just
Mark-
to piggyback on that thought, we plan on, again, in that presentation, speaking to many of the ways we want to open up this space to the community in East Harlem. And we've already established a great relationship with the East Harlem tutorial program. And so some of the Nightingale students are already tutoring some of the students there. There's an established relationship in East Harlem. We work with the Young Women's Leadership Academy as well. I think they're on the move now, but while they were here, we've had a relationship with them. So just understand that there has been presence even before this facility, and that will continue to only expand. I don't know.
So no, that's fine. I'm going to try to get a few more questions. The bulk, I would like all of the board members present that you're going to have another bite of the apple when they present at Youth
Right.
and Education.
Right.
And I do seeing the enthusiasm of engagement that to have you go attend that meeting. So Mark, your question.
Yeah, what's the anticipated budget for the construction project, and are you getting any public financing through the EDC bonds?
So so we have applied through new NYC build. Yeah.
What's the budget? What's the bond request?
So the budget hasn't been finalized. I'll be glad to speak to that the next time that we're here. But we have applied for the NYC build loans, which we expect to be finalized later this month. Yeah. Oh, so for the loan itself, we're asking for a $40 million from NYC builds. Yeah.
Okay. Marina, and then we'll conclude with Sage's question.
Yes, I live down the block, so I'm wondering, are you talking about the corner lot or one of the parking lots in the middle of the between Lexington and Third? And then also, yes, I do look forward to having that space be made available to local students, local
Yes.
youth.
Yes, and we do too. It's the open air parking lot, that space. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, how are the girls going to get to and from school to this facility, which is about a mile away?
Yeah, so it hasn't been decided yet. Looking into, the walk itself takes 20 minutes from our school to the location. And we are looking into transportation too, buses.
Okay. Thank
Chair
you. That's the
Santiago,
question.
I'm so sorry. I
Yeah,
had my
I
hand
was
raised.
I was getting ready to recognize you. Don't worry. We have one of our online members, Nye Whitaker. Your question.
Thank you so much. I'm actually on the board of Common of the Sacred Heart and went there. And we've just gone through a similar build out down the block from Asphalt Green. So I heard you say when the groundbreaking or when you wanted to put shovels down in January, but do you have an estimate of how long the construction will take to finalize the facility on East 108?
Yeah. And just to clarify, January, the shovels won't be in the ground, but sometime in Q1.
Okay.
So it could be March, it could be February, there's a lot of moving parts with construction, permitting, things like that. So, but sometime in Q1, which around that time is when we'll come back to give the full presentation.
And to
what's
know what the
that question? I'm sorry.
timeline for completion is.
And how long for the project?
Okay.
So current timeline has it, I guess Q3 2027.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yep. So I would recommend connect. Thank you very much. I'm going to move the meeting along. January, be prepared to come and present. Please exchange information with Asher and David so that you can get queued up for that. Okay.
Great. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. All right. Check to see if there are any other. Thank you very much for attending. All right. Not seeing any other pre-registered speakers, we will now move the agenda along to our elected officials and or their representatives. Would you please keep the crosstalk down? Thank you. If you have not already signed up to speak, we ask that elected officials or their representatives please alert our staff in the chat if they wish to give a report. We ask that the event or service literature be sent to our office so we may post it and share as is appropriate. Please keep your report to 3 minutes and be mindful not to repeat what others have already mentioned. Again, we have, I don't see anyone on the list, but I think we do have some on Zoom. Is Maggie McDermott from Deputy Speaker Ayala's office? Maggie?
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry, Xavier. Thank you. I'm here. Hi, everybody. Happy
Hi.
holidays. First and foremost, happy holidays, everyone.
Yep, and I'll let you know, Maggie, because the timer that you could typically see on the screen is not working. So I'll give you a 2-minute and then 3, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. So below is our monthly report. Deputy Speaker Ayala attended a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new flood wall at Metropolitan Hospital that will serve as a critical protection in the event of severe weather, such as a storm similar to Superstorm Sandy. This new flood wall will ensure that this key community institution is safeguarded from infrastructure is safeguarded from future flooding risks, providing both immediate and long-term security for our residents and healthcare facilities. The Deputy Speaker also attended the annual East Harlem tree lighting ceremony, a beloved tradition that brings our community together during the holiday season. This event is a key part of our community, East Harlem. It fosters a sense of community and celebration. It was a wonderful opportunity for her to connect with neighbors and strengthen the bonds that make East Harlem such a vibrant place to live. A community conversation took place in regard to the La Marqueta redevelopment. Our office recently hosted a community conversation in regards to the La Marqueta redevelopment plan. This event provided a platform for residents to learn about the plans for revitalizing La Marqueta and an opportunity for them to provide their feedback. The presentation was the same one shared with the board last month, and we are excited about the progress that has been made thus far. Friends of La Marqueta will continue to seek opportunities to engage the community as the work moves forward, ensuring transparency. Julia de Burgos site and survey release. We're pleased to announce the release of the Julia de Burgos site survey, which will help guide the development of the request for proposals for the site.
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay. I'm going to cut to the city infrastructure and housing commitments through Housing for All. The city council has secured $5 billion in commitments for housing and infrastructure improvements across the city. These funds will include $2 billion for improvements to our sewer and drainage systems, street enhancements, and open space development. $3 million to develop new flood maps and implement mitigation measures. $608,000 for a surface flood sensor program to monitor and address potential flooding risks. Increased speed and frequency for bus service across the city, improving transportation access for all residents. Some money will go towards NYCHA for immediate repairs of individual units, including appliance replacements and renovation of vacant units. We also fought to have NYCHA removed from the campus proposal that would have eliminated all checks and balances related to infill on NYCHA grounds.
3 minutes.
We are proud of these significant investments, which will help strengthen our community's infrastructure and resilience and ensure that East Harlem continues to thrive. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much, Maggie. I have a question from Sage. Sage.
Sure.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned like dollar amounts for everything except the improvements to individual NYCHA units. Can you say exactly how much money is going to that?
I can't, unfortunately. I do not have a figure, monetary figure for that particular, for that particular, uh, for that particular bullet point. I'm sorry. I can find out and get back to you, but I do not have a monetary amount for that particular, cause.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Beverly.
Yes, thank you for the presentation and the information. My question is regarding housing also. Since you're gonna have some money for housing, how much do you have or plan to put towards home ownership programs and affordable housing? And especially housing that's run by the city itself, like HPD?
I mean, I want to say that that's included in the $5 billion that was secured. Like, I believe that that figure is all inclusive, you know, the housing for all in regards to the city council infrastructure and housing commitments. So,
Thank you. Anne Marie Vasquez.
Hi, Maggie. It's Anne Marie. I don't have a question. I have a suggestion. Can your office invite Economic Development Culture Committee to these meetings when it comes to La Marqueta and to the Julia de Burgos? I wasn't aware of any of this going on. Thank you.
it was very well publicized. I want to say that there were Community Board 11 members present. I believe Xavier was there.
Yep. Eugene Rodriguez was there. It was announced at our last full board meeting. When, okay.
It was highly publicized. It was all over social
Yeah,
media.
but one of the comments and takeaways, hold on, Emery, one of the comments and takeaways from that interaction and something I address in my chair report is that we all have to do better at examining the newsletter, disseminating it amongst our networks, and making sure we're leaning in and reminding people of these events going on, because there's a lot of stuff that's overlapping simultaneously. So yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on,
Yeah.
but and also maybe it happened when I was in Puerto Rico. I wasn't here, but maybe letting us know, the vice chair and the chair of that specific committee,
Yep.
Emailing us to let us know this is happening, because there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, well, we're here to work together, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much. With that, I'm going to move us along to our borough president's
Everybody,
report.
happy holidays. Thank you. Thanks, Xavier.
Thank you. Porfirio Figueroa, thank you for joining us online. Busy schedule. All right, Porfirio.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And thank you, CB11. I have two community boards today, so I appreciate giving access. I wanted to flag that the Manhattan Borough President, together with Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, and City Council Member Keith Powers, recently published an op-ed spotlighting the relationship between public safety and scaffolding on our streets. They pointed out very real concerns about crime, dangerous activity, and even perceived safety issues, and how that can significantly affect neighborhood quality of life. So to address this, the Manhattan Borough President has collaborated with the City Council to introduce legislation that will make it easier to complete work to get sheds down in a timely fashion, update the policy on facades of varying material, and more. The full op-ed can be found on our website, which is www.manhattanbp.nyc.gov. I want to remind everyone it is capital funding season. And so the Manhattan Borough President's Office, the portal is open for all schools and or not-for-profits who are interested in CAP funding. They can go to www.manhattanbp.nyc.gov/resources/budget funding, and you can find all the information and requirements there. We recently, as you know, reached out to as many youth in over Manhattan for our Manhattan Future Leaders Fellows, and we got an overwhelming response. So we're in the process of actually choosing what we lovingly call our CB13, which is our youth group to learn about civic government. We also had a webinar about how to interact in local government. We recently hosted a webinar for those interested in getting involved at the local level. Participants heard from community board members, those on education councils, advisory boards, and more. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, and also let you know that I neglected to say my name in the beginning, but I am Porfirio Figueroa. I am now the new Deputy Director of Community Affairs for the Manhattan Borough President's Office. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Thank you. Let us say congratulations to you, Porfirio. Yeah.
Thank you much.
Any questions from our board members? Michelle?
Hi, this is Michelle Wilshire Clement talking from Public Safety and Transportation.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, I heard you talking about, yes, some of the sheds coming down and a lot of the scaffolding being a problem. However, some of these sheds actually add to our community. Some of them add like a space of sitting and just being with each other in our community. So I like some of the sheds, not all of the sheds being taken away. I do want to thank you for bringing in Community Board 13. I think that is a vital part and will increase our youth knowledge and want to participate in government in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I will also give back.
Any questions? Okay. With that, thank you very much, Porfirio, for making it here tonight and wishing you happy
appreciate it.
holidays.
Thank you, everybody as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, that concludes our public elected officials. We will now move the meeting along to our business session. First up is the adoption of the board minutes. The minutes from the last full board meeting were distributed to board members ahead of time by the board office. There were 2 months, October and November. Thank you, Rosa, for completing those. If there are no objections, we'll adopt both sets of minutes for that meeting. If you wish to object, please raise your hand. Seeing no objections, the minutes are adopted from last month's meeting. Now, the chair report, a little lengthy, but I'll try to plow the road as quickly as possible. Happy holidays to everyone. I hope you're doing well. Wanted to let you know and much to my chagrin, Rosa said I need to talk about this kind of stuff. And Jess has also reminded me, the chair is kind of like being a mother in a way. You got to be everywhere, all places at once, and have eyes in the back of your head constantly. There are a lot of meetings that you have to be at, usually in the evenings. You get a lot of information. It was easier during the pandemic, but now that the pandemic, we're going to be almost 5 years, starting our 5th year out of it. A lot of those options of hybrid meetings with those external facing roles and responsibilities are ceasing. Many of the meetings now are in person. They don't want attention divided. So that requires me to be at those places. I try to attend as many committee meetings as I can, but as ex officio, where I get that information is during our executive committee, where we all get feedback and relay that information. And that's how our traditional structure works. And this is for our new board members to understand that we relay our ideas, what we're dealing with at executive committee. And then the chair report is where I give to the entire body everything that's going on. We discuss what I deal with at executive, report back here so you can ask questions. Sometimes it's a deep dive if there's something to have a deep dive about. Other times it's something as simple, we address these issues, but we don't have updates. So again, in this month's report, a couple of those things I want to, again, be mindful as we go into January, February, we start the budget season, the mayor's budget, Albany session. A lot of requests come in. We have legislative breakfasts. And so those requests will be delegated either to the appropriate committee if a letter's needed, as we've done in the past. So stay tuned. Sometimes we have to be very nimble and responsive. So that's important for us to work together toward that goal. Couple things. It is the holiday season. Unfortunately, there have been a rash of break-ins. Even my own home and building was broken into, and a person tried to get into our unit. The police officer Willis, who deals with the CAU unit, they offer a service where they will actually go to your home in the 23rd and 25th, where they will inspect to see if there are any issues with security. Again, these are crimes of opportunity, but in this case, the person used a large industrial flathead screwdriver to pry open the door. Again, they stole some items, and this is just an issue, unfortunately, that has plagued not just here, but all over. So just be very mindful, again, as you've attended public safety and transportation or the precinct council meetings, don't leave your laptop in the car. Don't leave valuables in the car. People have been doing that and leaving their car running, and suddenly the car disappears. So these are little things that we have to be noticing on a daily basis and reminding one another. Local businesses. I got to give a shout out to Cara Empanada. They came and helped the Opiate Forum, and they donated how many? 100 empanadas. So we have some of their food tonight that was graciously donated by some of the board members here. I want to say thank you to those that are involved. Your little elves, your Santa's elves. So these local businesses, these organizations, and case in point, I'll shout out Borican Health, for example, and we got Anne-Marie here who's there, and Dr. Aponte who's come. We have all different organizations that lean in to help us do the community work. And it's very important, and just like the Opiate Forum we had recently, how many organizations leaned in to do that? I think that, Isaac, that was like 10 or 11, right? 12, maybe? A lot. Yeah. So think about this work that we do as a group. It's important to but these local businesses, Cara Empanada unfortunately had a break-in and their register stolen. Lexington Pizza Parlor, I'm going to transition. They have closed their doors after 10 years. It's an issue. The apportionment clause in their lease allows a landlord to assess their taxes that are assigned to them. All right. This is how it all works. And if you remember, a little over 2 years ago, Comptroller Brad Lander said that East Harlem and Central Harlem wasn't paying enough real estate tax. And the way that landlords offset that is to our commercial leases and to the businesses there and to the tenants. And that's what we've seen. We've seen people impacted both directly and indirectly. So I think that's something to keep in mind as we support our local small businesses. Okay. With that, the appropriation clause, we had a meeting with Community Board 10, Marquise Harrison, 9 and 12. We're going to do another legal aid forum that will be hosted in 10 that will highlight not just housing rights, homeowners' rights, criminal justice. It will also deal with businesses, small businesses, how to navigate issues such as that appropriation clause and how you can negotiate better. So I'm going to be assigning different members that ideally will volunteer and hopefully not voluntold to participate in the planning of that. And we'll be partnering with 10 and again, deepening that relationship of Northern Manhattan. Again, some of the other stuff I'm not going to go over that I addressed last month, but just included in writing. We attended the ribbon cutting for Metropolitan Hospital flood wall, along with Deputy Speaker Ayala. They got that job done in 2 years. And Jewel was there as the head of the cab. It was a wonderful event to celebrate and to see EDC lean in and get the work done so quickly. And you'll see there on the side, I recommend going by the First Avenue side, the artwork from photography done by Haidar Matarstani, a legend. And again, one part of the Young Lords, he was the photographer. His work has been featured all over the world, but you get to see that it highlights our culture and our contributions. I also made a moment to recognize that EDC needs to fund our Esplanade from 107th Street to 117th Street. That remains unfunded. So again, these are issues that we're raising. Okay, tree lighting, thank you for all the board members who came out. Really appreciated that. Ongoing conversations with Senator Claire's working group with Columbia University and their expansion, the displacement of some of the people who live in those properties and how we're going to address that going forward. We've been very supportive of CB9's recommendations. In the meeting materials, you'll see a presentation in there that you can review at your leisure. Lots of toy drives here that have been going on. Metropolitan, Caribe Democratic Club, attending, contributing, Borican. Very proud to have all these different toy drives. There's one going on right now with the NYPD. So these things, as you see them pop up, we'll try to get them into the newsletter and so that people have the information. And again, the staff works really hard to make sure it's all there. I know it seems like a huge information dump, but you got to read it. If there's things that we can highlight going forward, we'll do our level best to do so. Okay. Again, full board, the La Marqueta presentation, attended with Representative Espiat, an invitation only roundtable dealing with a lot of the public safety issues. And we had a meeting with Mr. Hatch, who is the Deputy Secretary for Human Services and Mental Hygiene. That just happened last Thursday. So again, letting you all know there's more details in the report. We will also be discussing that as we go forward. But again, he was sent back, Mr. Hatch was sent back with a lot of questions to answer. And when we have our next roundtable, we'll have updates. A lot of work with UMass, Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, where they just released their the grant panelists and the selection process and how that is all taking part this year. We did have minor adjustment from the previous years. Again, the rest of it is for information purposes only, but we did hold the Community Advisory Council here for El Museo del Barrio. Really good event, very productive, and we met the new Board of Trustees, and that is Carla Harwich, and she wants to work closely with the Advisory Council and being more intentional in how she takes on feedback and delivers results for El Museo. So with that, that concludes my report. I want to wish everyone a happy holidays and look forward to a successful 2025. Thanks.
Any questions? And nobody has any questions?
Happy holidays. Okay, now we'll move on to the district manager's report.
Yeah. I really don't want to do it, but good evening, everyone. Couple of things to highlight from my report this month. First of all, for those of you that have not seen or been informed, the housing lottery for Ray Harlem, that's the housing component of the National Black Theater Redevelopment Project at 2035 Fifth Avenue, that's 125th Street, is underway and open through February 3rd of 2025. The project includes 222 apartments, 58 of which will be affordable to households earning 40 to 30 to 130% of AMI. There is a 20% community preference for residents of Manhattan Community District 11. Second, the MTA has announced that the Manhattan Individual Disability Exception Plan, the IDEP, Assessment Center for Congestion Pricing is accepting appointments for people who are applying for the Individual Disability Exception Plan. Applicants can now schedule an appointment at the center to determine if they are eligible for the exception. To schedule an IDEP assessment, applicants can call the appropriate number for their preferred location. In Manhattan, the number is 888-811-1050. Enrolling into IDEP is a two-step process. Applicants first need to establish eligibility and then use the eligibility to enroll in IDEP. To apply and learn more, applicants can visit mta.info/IDEP. I'll include this on the website under announcements as well. For those that don't read the DM report. What else do I want to report to you guys? Yeah, so the board office will be closed on the 25th for Christmas, on January 1st for New Year's Day, and on January 20th for Martin Luther King Day. That concludes my report. The Public Safety Committee will be meeting on Christmas Day, but only Jose is required to attend.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, good.
None questions.
All right, with that, we'll move on to our officers' reports. Jessica Elliott, your vice chair report.
Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while since I had a vice chair report. I think I'll probably do it every couple months just to keep the meetings moving. Just informational purposes, but wanted to touch on some of the things that Angel, Xavier, and I have been working on a leadership basis. So just, as we move forward together as a team, looking forward to continuing to support you as members. What if there's anything that we can do to help support you be more engaged and plugged into the work that we're doing, we're happy to help. We're trying to look forward to our future collectively for leadership pipeline. So if you're interested in becoming a leader in the community board and you're not currently one, we'd love to hear from you. How can we address issues of attendance and generally ensure that we're working to contribute what we've promised as our service together towards the community. If we don't have quorum, can't effectively talk about our issues together in committees, and we can't do this work together. So please let us know if there's anything we can do to support you. A couple other points, we've been working with Councilmember Ayala's office and the Manhattan Borough President's office to re-engage the sanitation garage CAG. We'll keep you updated as that comes into fruition. We have also, back in October, just wanted to mention, because I mentioned previously that we had the Councilmember Ayala district budget consultation. We were able to have one with Councilmember Salam. I think it's about time we follow up on that. And then I also attended the Health and Human Services Addiction Forum. Thank you to Isaac and the team. It was a wonderful event. The saxophone and just, centering the conversations on human dignity, I thought was wonderful. Also attended the tree lighting and been meeting with Civitas to discuss the East River Esplanade projects, how to get funding for that gap that we've known has been in part of the project, but still needs to be addressed. So in the background, we're also working hard with the District Needs and Budget Committee. Work is ongoing. I'll give that update in my committee report. Thanks. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. With that, we'll go to our secretary report.
Yes, good evening, everyone. As mentioned, every single month. Last month, we didn't have executive committee, and this month it'll be in 2 days, December 19. If you have questions regarding your attendance, please see me because I am not happy. Some members are already on or past the threshold of absences. Please do see me. Lastly, I will continue sending the extra notification for full board meetings only. Please do check your emails, follow up with Angel, Khalid, Marlene. Check out the Community Board 11 website for the monthly calendar. Everything is in the website. It's on the website, like all the committee events. The calendar has all the links. You click on the calendar on the date of your committee meeting. The whole month has every single committee meeting dates, where it's going to be, obviously, the district's office, the time, and the actual link. I love helping and supportive, but it's a lot. Yes, I've also attended the tree lighting. It was beautiful. It was great weather too. Yeah, right. And also attended the Human Services Bridging Community Together. That's what I like to call it. It's bringing community, and like Isaac is gonna talk about all of that. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One additional item on that is we had 2 members resigned today. So just again, it's important that when you commit to the work, you be able to attend. And that was noted in communications earlier. So yes, Jose,
Wait.
hold on.
She wanted to tell her that I have received all her texts. She's doing an amazing job, and I'm sure that our attendance has improved. Thank you for all your work.
Well done, Rosa. Okay, we will not have a treasurer's report this month. We should hopefully have one in January when we're halfway through the fiscal year. We will now move on to our officer reports, and our first up is District Needs and Budget.
Hello again. Unfortunately, as noted, attendance is important. We were unable to get quorum yesterday for our meeting, therefore we did not meet. But we are working hard as our small committee to generally improve the processes, workflow, budget requests, and the narrative in preparation for next year. And through this, we hope to activate the committees, the committee chairs, across the community board to really relate what we're doing actively in each committee to the budget requests that we're putting forth, and reinforcing our overarching vision for district needs in the policy areas. So the work is ongoing. Hopefully we can catalyze some great actions within the committees, and just look forward to hearing from us as we move this forward. And thank you to the committee.
Thank
Any
you, Jess.
questions?
Next up is Economic Development and Culture. Jose.
Good evening, everyone. We meet, is everyone awake? They want the food. I told you to feed them first. I don't know if the food's gonna, we actually meet tomorrow, so I hope all my members will be there after a meeting today, and then I have a meeting tomorrow. We have executive Thursday. So I can't say much until after our meeting. Thank you all. Yep. What am I doing here? Oh, yes, we did this last month. We did a tweak for you because you're special. Thank you so much for all your work. What's this? Is that me? Sorry, that's me. That is me. All right, so we supported the East Harlem Holiday Tree with a donation of $500. The motion was made by Eugene Rodriguez, seconded by Samantha Pedreiro, and passed unanimously. This is something that our community board is very proud to support every year. And as you heard, most of our leadership was there at the event. I missed it, unfortunately, but I heard it was a beautiful event. Thank you for all the work you do. It's a beautiful tree, and we should all be happy. But this was, do I have to?
We just accept motion to
All right,
accept
so
the committee's recommendation.
I got
Is
that.
that Asher? Rosa said
Retroactively.
second, and all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Rosa. Okay, next is housing. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. Anne Marie Vasquez, licenses and permits.
So our agenda was very short. It was only 3 licenses. Yes, amazing. So the first one, we have Agava Azul CNT Corp. Is a new application for full liquor license for a restaurant located at 109 East, 116th Street on Park Avenue. The committee recommends that this application be approved. Motion to approve was made by Carlos Diaz, second by Judith Ferraro, and passed unanimously. Second one is Hestia New York City Corp. Doing business as Baked Cravings, a renewal application for wine, beer, and cider license. License number 0267-22112997 for a restaurant located at 1673 Lexington Avenue on 105th Street. The committee recommends that this application be approved. Motion to approve was made by Anne Marie Vasquez, second by Judith Ferraro, and passed unanimously. And third and last, Lechonera Tropical Grill Corp. Renewal application for wine, beer, and cider license number 1253723 for a restaurant located at 172 East, 103rd Street and 3rd Avenue. The committee recommends that this application be denied. Motion to deny was made by Carlos Diaz, second by Eugene Rodriguez, passed unanimously.
Thank you very much. I'm going to bundle these 3 items to accept the committee's recommendation. Jose? Okay, a second. Eugene? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much, Anne Marie. Next is Environment, Open Space, and Parks.
Okay, so we didn't have any action items, but we did have a few discussions about the Earth Day celebration on, we decided on the day of April 18th. But looking on my calendar, the kids have spring recess, April 14th to April 18th. So next month when we meet in January, we will discuss the date, if to keep it or just to change it to April 22nd. We are going to continue working with the current organizations and hopefully expand to different organizations like New York City Heat Map, New York City Mayor's Office of Climate and Environment, and I know a couple of other organizations like Sea Life organizations and etc. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any questions? Wonderful. All right. Human Services.
Peace and blessings, everybody. So the only thing I'm going to report on today is the Addiction Forum, and I want to just thank each and every one of you, especially the Human Services Committee, for putting that together, for organizing. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everyone giving me a lot of credit, but the committee pulled together and we did it as a committee. I also want to thank the staff for leaning in with me and giving support where it was needed. I also want to thank East Harlem Community Partnership and Union Settlement for the space. Forgive me, I had something on my mind. So just to give some numbers, we had 50 people sign in on the sign-in sheet. And I know there was a time, and Ms. Ponte can tell, there was a period where the tablet or the computer kept dying. So I'm sure there were even more people who didn't get to sign in. This does not include the 20+ students that came. Thank you, David. Thank you, Asha. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. At least we had between David's group and Principal Ventura's group. Thank you, Rosa. We had about 30 young people there. So it was very much exactly what we had hoped for with bringing community together so that we can strategize and think and talk about these issues to get a better understanding, 2024 understanding of what folks are going through. We had 20 organizations partner with the Human Services Committee and Community Board 11, 20 organizations. And we had more than 20 organizations which were represented at the event. I'm going to always stress the importance of collaboration, and I'm always going to continue to work against things that keep us isolated. I've said this to my committee, during our meeting. I'll say it again. No weapon formed against us is going to prosper. We're going to do the work of the community, and we're going to do it irregardless of how folks feel about it. As long as it is what is right, and as long as it is in community with the community. Some of the things to look forward to coming out of this event is you will have the media from the event, from the panel discussions to the performance to the organizational presentations, as well as their slides. All of that will be put together in some digital form that I will make sure we have for y'all in January. One of the things we are going to do with extracting all of the information that came out of the event from everyone is for a 4-part analysis. One part of it is a medical analysis to understand the personal and public health risks of substance use. A cultural analysis of addiction for Black and Indigenous people of color in East Harlem, because addiction impacts us culturally different. Also a social analysis to understand the social economic impact of addiction and substance use on our residents and businesses in Harlem. And the last part of that analysis will be an accountability analysis where we can detect holes and areas for improvement. And this will be our area where we can politely request data from organizations, and where they don't have that data, help them to build mechanisms to produce that data so that we can get that from them. And then I will end with this. There is a survey that is going around. You might have gotten it. If you got it, please fill it out, but I'm going to resend it to everyone. If you came to the event, please fill out the survey, because it helps us track information for the work that we are doing. Happy Hanukkah, joyous Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's to everyone.
Thank you. Next, we have youth and education. Asher.
All right. Hello, everyone. So this month we had two or three presentations. We had the New York Justice League come that they want to have input on an event they're putting on. They're going to come back to us with what input they want. I'm pretty sure that's the consensus we came to. We had a representation from Reading Partners, which is a resource in our community that they are going into schools and tutoring some of the kids. And we also had a presentation from New York City Smoke Free, which they were mostly talking about the impacts of how secondhand smoking kills a lot more than actual smoking, which is something very important to talk about with the high asthma rate we have in East Harlem. And we also spoke about our event, and we came to the conclusion that we want to do something around social media and also intergenerational components of it. So any questions? Well, actually, one quick comment I want to make is youth and education. I've had a little bit of a hard time getting quorum the past few months. I've had to call people before the meeting. There's a few people on my committee who I haven't seen. I'm not going to call people out by name, but if you're on youth and education, please show up to the meeting so we could do the work, especially with, we saw the presentation from the private school today, which is something that is going to come to our committee. So if you have any opinions on that, if you're on the committee, please come to our next meeting. Since I already spoke to them, we're going to get them on the agenda for next month.
Thank you,
Now, any
Asher.
questions?
Beverly, you had a question?
Okay, thank you, Ashley, from the presentation. My question is regarding the smoking, secondhand smoke. Are y'all getting data since it's now legal for marijuana? Is that also part of the secondhand smoke data that y'all will be looking into or anything like
I
that?
don't think so. It was a presentation. It was very broad. There was some East Harlem statistics, but I do want to reach back out to them because you do make a good point. There is a lot of the marijuana, but I think just because it was legalized not so long ago, we don't really, there's not much data of the effects of that from what I've heard. So yeah.
Okay, we have one question online from Christina Johnson. Christina, you're recognized.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Happy holidays, and thank you for recognizing me. Asha, as a person who suffers from asthma very badly, I'd like to say thank you for taking this on, but you should also look into how CBD and all this other stuff affects people with asthma. Because I know for me, when people smoke around me, it catches my breath and I can't breathe, right? And the secondhand smoke is very detrimental to people like myself who suffer from asthma. So I appreciate you taking this on, and I would like to probably be a part of that, okay? And work with you on that because it affects me personally.
Yep, go ahead, Asher.
All right. It wasn't necessarily the committee that was looking into it. It was a presentation that we have, but I can reach back out to them. I have asthma also, so I do relate to you on that. So if you have any questions, just send it and I'll forward it to the people. I would like for them to come back and maybe give some more East Harlem specific statistics. So yeah.
Yes, please let me know. I'd like to attend that meeting.
Thank you very much, Asher. And for those who are attending virtually or here in the room, we have one of the higher rates of asthma in the city because of the First Avenue and the Willis Avenue Bridge and the Triborough, as well as the Cross Bronx. So something to keep in mind as we advocate. Next, we're going to have land use. Kenneth, Jason Villanueva could not be with us tonight.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing? Filling in for Jason today. We had 3 presentations at our committee meeting. The first was for a voluntary inclusionary housing application for a new development on 180 East 125th Street. It's an as-of-right development, and it has about 614 units, 185 of which are affordable. We also heard from the MTA about intended rezoning in the same area, 125th and Lexington. Just some quick updates there. This is regarding the Second Avenue subway, and I believe we heard the completion goal for that project is now 2032. And finally, we heard from folks at Ascendant and HPD regarding the Carmen Villegas Senior Housing Project at 101 East 110th Street. That is fully affordable, 210 units, and the AMI there is between 0 and 50%. One more item, we talked briefly about Maggie's Magic Garden, and we met with representatives from the garden, and we're hoping to, again, reiterate our support for the garden. Whether that looks like increased funding, some sort of support, we are continuing to work with those community partners there. Any questions?
Yep. Rosa.
Was there any outcome with regards to Maggie's Garden?
Was there any what? Sorry, I missed the.
What was the outcome with Maggie's Magic Garden?
So we're working with folks. We don't have jurisdiction over like a landmark designation, but we are working with them to connect them with partners who can help them with that process. Regardless, we're hoping to support them, whether or not it's landmark status or funding or support. We want to make sure that we can help them any way that we can.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
And-
can I make one super quick? Sorry, Xavier.
Sure.
All the presentations I mentioned are on the website. So if you haven't heard about them there, you can find them there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up is public safety and transportation.
My free time. Hello, everyone. And happy holidays. So I'm just going to start by saying that we have the MTA is hosting 8 public webinars. Check that out online. I'm just giving you quick notes. There is a new state-of-the-art baseball center that has been opened by 215 Fort Washington. It is not necessarily in East Harlem, but all of the city, ages 11 through 18, are welcome to go free on the weekends and all throughout. So please check it out. It is fabulous. I definitely went there to check it out for the opening. And the FDNY came for the first time that I have known to our meeting. They were invited and they showed up. And we heard a lot of things that we just didn't know that the FDNY actually did. So please check out our YouTube when it's posted. And for what everyone really wants to know, we had the we had Danny come, the District Attorneys of New York office, as well as the Legal Aid Society. They were both groups were given the same discovery information. In other words, we decided, let's find a way to talk about discovery by actually mimicking the same discovery that they would be going through. Who was in the room? We all were in the room. But I would like to say that Xavier came, Xavier Santiago, I'm going to say the names, Jessica Elliott, Derek Stamponi, and Kenneth Crouch came from our group. And I appreciated it because this conversation was and is so important. And because it is so important, the new information that we have to ponder over it just a little bit longer. And I wanted everyone here to be able to look at the video as it's put up, to be able to listen to what was said, to further go through your own discovery, and then come back in January to make an educated vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose, and then Derek.
Grazie. The MTA, what's the webinars for?
They're making lots of changes.
Congestion is one of them, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, just for so the full board knows that, because a lot of people in this community are interested in congestion pricing particularly.
Mm-hmm.
And the other piece was the discovery reform that we talked about.
That's
Could
what
you-
the district.
Yes, I know, but I think you're assuming that most of the people here were there and they weren't. I would appreciate it if this is a very important subject and we have to vote on it in January so that our opinion can be relayed to the state because they're going to start lobbying in February. You still get a little nervous. It's cute. So if you can start from the top, it's very big. We're talking about discovery reform. It was at the committee level. We also had everyone else that joined us, but the committee was there present.
Yes, we are talking about discovery reforms, talking about what happened in April the 19th, where we spoke about bailout and discovery reforms at the same time. Bailout, where no one is left in jail for a period of time, that's ridiculous. However, what happened with discovery reforms is that the pendulum went so far left that we want to find a way to nuance things so that both victim and perpetrator are equally understood and given equal balance under the law. And to match that, we wanted to find out what does that mean in our community. And in our community, we wanted to also listen to what the district attorney's office said, as well as the Legal Aid Society, as well as what happens in East Harlem for
Derek,
all those that weren't in the house.
Derek.
Good evening, everyone. Derek Stampone, CB11 member. First, I'd like to thank the Public Safety and Transportation Committee for taking the full board's motion to table and putting on, gathering together those folks from the Legal Aid Society and having the DA representative there as well. It was a long meeting and it didn't happen until the very end, but I was very thankful I had the opportunity to go. I wasn't on the board in April, and so I appreciate you guys putting that on. I thought both sides presented themselves well, spoke to their issues, recognized that the old way is definitely not the thing to go back to.
Don't want to go back.
But that perhaps, that there are changes that could be appropriate. And I encourage everyone on the board, for those who were not there, did not participate over Zoom. Jose did a fantastic job when each person was introduced. And during the question session, he said, just go through these three things and give a couple sentences about it, so that the members of the board don't have to watch all of this time in order to understand it. So I also want to thank Jose for doing that, because I think it makes it accessible to everyone here. And I'd say, as you did as well, Michelle, I encourage everyone to engage with these resources before January, because I think we didn't come having done our homework last board meeting. And as has been pointed out from a variety of folks, we got to do the work. And so you guys said, let's not bring this to December, let's bring it to January. And so again, thank you for those efforts.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Derek, and Michelle and Jose, and you led a very cordial, collegial, and constructive conversation. And there was a lot of etiquette observed by all parties, and I applaud you in that effort for such a contentious issue, and being very well managed during the meeting. And thank you for everyone who did attend. Any further questions before we move? Yeah, Isaac. Just so we get the recording. Thank you.
I really just wanted to say thank you, Michelle, for just being flexible and resilient in this, and your leadership to do this. It's not easy to be on the Public Safety Committee in East Harlem. So thank you for your leadership. I also wanted to just open the door for more cross collaboration with our committee, especially when you guys get ready to do your next event as well.
Absolutely. I was not able to come to your event, but I really, really wanted to. I just couldn't take that day off. So I really applaud everything and everyone that has that gumption to do a conference. I think it's a beautiful thing because we get more in-depth conversation.
Jess, I had one last
Yeah,
question, Michelle. Don't go anywhere.
Just wanted to say thank you also. And just to build off of Derek's and Isaac's point, it seemed like in that meeting, it maybe was the first time that the DA's office had been in the same room as someone like the Legal Aid Society. And I think that just is emblematic of how much, despite we agree with it, despite the disagreements we may have across our organizations or the work that we do, that we should have those conversations and be able to understand how we can find the right path forward when we both understand that's what currently is happening. It's not necessarily working. So thank you for bringing them together. I would be surprised if it wasn't on the news, honestly. Thank you.
Did I actually say their names? All of their names?
No, you did not. Would you,
let me
the
say
two
their
members from Legal Aid and then the one from Danny?
Kelly Conleaf and Amanda Jack were the individuals from Legal Aid. And from Danny, the District Attorney's Office of New York County, Jordan Stockdale, Courtney Bennett, and Andrew Waugh
wash hour.
or shower.
Wash hour.
All right.
Okay.
So again, I want to thank Michelle and Jose and everyone on that committee for dealing with this. And I also want to commend both Legal Aid and the District Attorney of New York for the way they were both recognizing how they can find a pathway forward. They were both very collegial. And in the past, as was relayed to me by Danny, is that there have been other instances where ad hominem attacks were thrown about and it was very adversarial. So they were pleased to have like a very kind of collegial moment. And I'm glad to see that genesis coming from Community Board 11. So everyone, let's continue that good work as we turn the page to 2025. And with that, I'll go to the Executive Committee. We are having our meeting on Thursday. You're welcome to attend online. And it's going to be, pretty simple meeting, but I do want one person who's going to be coming because it's the quickest we could get it on the agenda is Willie Mae Goodman. There's someone I had mentioned to you, Isaac, a while ago but wanted to get her out there because I ran into her for her daughter's birthday. I want everyone, if you can attend that meeting, get to know her. She's 93 years young. She is a legend in the field for people with disabilities, and it's important. I just want everyone, those members that are new, those that came on, even those that knew her back in the day like I did, I want everyone from the executive committee leadership because she's a wealth of knowledge, not just with people with disabilities and advocacy in that right, but also the intricacies of city government and how those relationships work. She has these little nuggets. I reconnected with her over a hot dog at Costco. Still $1.50. And that's her thing. She likes to have hot dogs with me. With that, please come out to that meeting. We'll also be dealing with our chair responsibilities and attendance. And on that, I want to wish everyone happy holidays. And before you go get the food graciously donated from the Elves, yeah, you had a. I want all board members to please come up to the desk to see me before you go get food. I've got a little something for you. Okay. All right. Oh, and the bid. Yeah, old business. Wasn't on there? Oh, Thursday, guys, the bid, we will be voting on the bid at Thursday as well. So the business improvement development with Uptown Grand Central. So that's important for us going forward. So that's the last little bit. Thank you very much for that reminder. And with that, any new business? Any old business? Old business? Eugene?
We should all be ashamed of ourselves. Let me tell you that. We had the Hispanic Heritage Month in October. We had the Puerto Rican Heritage Month in December.
November.
Yeah. Well, it extended to December because he said so.
Love it. Go on, Eugene.
And nothing was produced in the neighborhood with regard to Hispanics or Puerto Ricans or anything like that. My announcement is that hopefully next year that won't happen. With the help of the community board, we might be able to put on 2 productions next year for Hispanic Heritage Month and for Puerto Rican Heritage Month. And you know who's going to do the Puerto Rican one, right?
¿Quién? Tú.
El
En serio.
Goki.
Okay.
So I want your help, please. Right now, they have a feasibility study going that I was hoping to represent the community board at, but I'll go personally. The next meeting is going to be the 8th, and then they're going to come out with their conclusions. So thank you, and I hope you can support me when we do this show in November.
Great. Please let us know. And Eugene, just to let you know, there was the film festival that was opening night was held here during November. The International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival. We had Iri Chacon come out. So, all right. So with that, any announcements? We had that falls under announcements. With that, please call the roll, Rosa.
Okay. Listen to your names, please. Jose Altamirano. Jose Altamirano. Stephanie Arroyo. Mark Bogorsky. Marcel Bondima. Adem Brija. Kenneth Crouch. Carlos Diaz. Rosa Diaz is myself. Jessica Elliott. Judith Ferraro, Arnice Foster Hernandez, David Giordano, John Green,
Here, happy holidays, y'all.
thank you, got it. Pascal Hanu, Wanda Hopkins,
Here.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Christina Johnson,
Here.
thank you. Stanley Johnson's excuse. Jewel Jones, thank you. Sage Mason, Malik McCulloch,
Here.
thank you. Jennifer Mayer, Jessica Morris, Nilsa Orama, Beverly Pavon, Samantha Pedreiro, Claudia Perez, Valerie Ponti, Asher Rodriguez, Eugene Rodriguez, Don Sanders,
Here.
Xavier Santiago,
Present.
Isaac Scott, Russell Schuler, Loretta So, Derek Stampone, Alaida Chicambo, oops, Vincent Torres, Anne-Marie Vasquez, Jason Villanueva, Hilda Vives Vasquez, Nye Whitaker,
Here.
thank you. Justina Williams, Michelle Wilcher Clement, Shanique W. Okay. Jason Wu, absent. Okay, thank you.
And with that, we conclude our meeting at 8:10. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and please be safe out there. Please come up, board members, come up to the table, please.